This is a story about a tiny fox called Max and his friend Minnie, a tiny rabbit. When they meet Pete, the penguin. It was a snowy morning in the forest, peaceful and still. Max and Minnie played on the frozen pond. Suddenly, a cry echoed through the trees. Someone was in trouble. Pete the penguin stood shivering in the snow. His slippers were gone. Max and Minnie comforted him and promised to help him find them. Minnie spotted footprints in the snow. Max inspected them closely. These weren't animal tracks they knew. Ahead, they saw a warm log home with smoke rising from the chimney. Max sneaked over to the window and looked inside. Inside, Marvin the mouse was sipping cocoa, wearing Pete's slippers. Pete stormed to the front door and went inside. "Hey!" shouted Pete. "These slippers are mine." "I thought they were for sharing," said Marvin. Pete smiled. "Maybe you want to borrow them?" he said. "Oh yes," Marvin replied happily. The friends laughed and sipped cocoa by the fire. Then they waved goodbye to Marvin and left for new adventures. This is a story about a tiny fox called Max and his friend Minnie, a tiny rabbit. When they meet Penny the polar bear. It was a snowy morning when Max the tiny fox zipped up his scarf beside Minnie the rabbit. "Let's make a snowman," Max said. Minnie cheered. Max started rolling a big snowball. Minnie started rolling a slightly smaller one. Max rolled and the snowball grew larger and larger. Finally, it was large enough. But when they compared, they had to roll some more. Max lifted Minnie's snowball on top of his. They put on some stones and a carrot for eyes, mouth, and nose. Max thought the hat was so nice that he tried it on. Minnie laughed and thought Max looked funny with the hat on. Suddenly they heard a strange voice shouting in the distance. They ran through the forest in the direction the voice came from. On the way they met Pete the penguin. He just pointed further into the forest. Max and Minnie rushed further into the forest. At a frozen lake sat Penny, with sad look in her face. "The ice is covered with twigs. We can help you," Max said. Max started collecting twigs from the ice. Minnie and Penny used small brooms to remove the twigs. Soon, the frozen lake sparkled like glass. They cheered. Penny cautiously took her first step onto the sparkling frozen lake. "I did it!" Penny laughed, spinning in a joyful twirl. She glided smiling across the sparkling frozen lake. They all twirled, laughed, and raced, full of joy. "Thank you for helping